Okay, on to map 4, and now time for the hardest fight of the level. So we want to shoot this little switch, which if you're using free look like me is incredibly difficult. But you do that to lower the pink key, and then you can come in here to the purple fight. And now it is Tyson time. Let's push the switches, unleash the enemies, and we'll let them in fight because this is marginally quicker and relatively consistent as well. Otherwise, you would essentially push the button, release an enemy into the middle, and then punch him to death. And before having done this fight, I had actually never punched a cyber demon to death. I didn't even, in fact, think it was possible. But actually, with a little bit of patience and some circle strafing, you can get the job done reasonably well. I mean, we do have quite a lot of space here, which is nice. There you go. Now I do the Pinky Demons next, because they're probably the second most dangerous. And then the Imps, because they're probably most dangerous after that. Although you can stand right in front of their spawn here and kill them as they come through. And then finally the Pain Elemental, because he's pointless. And once you've done all of the enemies, you get the Plasma Gun, which you might have just seen teleport away. It is now over here for collection. And I think this makes it my favourite of the secret fights, because this secret fight actually gives you something. It rewards you for taking the time to go out of your way to find it and to do it. Sets you up with a plasma gun, which as we will see, will be invaluable for some of the upcoming fights in this level. Now we're going to come up here. We're going to kill these Hell Knights through the window because they're just annoying if you leave them alive. And then we have a zombie man over here. And then, surprise, some revenants drop in. And I don't know why they drop in like that. That must be something to do with GZdoom. Otherwise, I would expect them to spawn in on the floor. Yeah, I think it's like in Final Doom, where the teleport destinations bring you in at a higher level. I don't know if that's the case. But anyway, secret switch. Secret switch, kill the secret mancubus. To go to the secret area with the secret health, and there's another secret switch down there as well as another secret, which we will come back to later. Hope you got that. So there's the switch that opens up a teleporter for us to be able to telefrag this bad boy. So we're going to wait for him to shoot and then run towards him. Wait for him to shoot. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and telefragged. And we got some plasma as well, which we need for this fight, which is very difficult without plasma. But with plasma, you just kill the revenants that spawn in. You pick one Hell Knight, you kill him, and then you've kind of got yourself a bit of space. Kill one more, and you've got yourself an entire side. And now you're just sort of cleaning up. This fight absolutely mauled me at the start, because I just couldn't figure out how to do it. And then once I realised you could come into this with a plasma, actually, it suddenly becomes a lot easier. And I think the secret fights in general should reward you with something. There should be something beyond a pure completionist, motivating factor to do them. So I do really like this one. I also really like that they put it right at the start. That's different. They usually come at the end, and they usually sort of really tense moments. Whereas here, you have a really tough fight, but you get to do it at the start. And it is the toughest fight in the level. It's the one I died the most on. But I did get relatively consistent. That Pinky Demon is woken up, but we'll leave him for the moment. Instead, we're going to come in here. This is where you would otherwise get the plasma. Push this button. Kill the chain gunners, who are looking awfully fine in those blue uniforms. I like to kill one of the mancubi. I always struggle with that. And then this is kind of going badly, but you would normally just kill one of the pain elementals and then focus on the archvile in safety, like this. But even the mancubus is coming over this time, which it doesn't often happen. In fact, I think this is the only time that I've ever seen this, and I've practiced this level quite a lot. In fact, Believe it or not, this is actually my first attempt at this level, which you might think is bizarre because I died, what, 15 to 20 times on level 2 and, you know, probably upwards of 30 times on level 3, but this one I actually did the first time, and there's a reason for that. Part of it is luck, but most of it is because this is the first level I actually broke down into specific save slots for fights, whereas map 2 and 3 I kind of just played the level once and then started recording and then tried to sort of muddle my way through. This one I specifically broke down into fights. I practiced those fights again and again and again until I became ruthlessly consistent at them, and then decided to start recording. And I largely did that just for my own sanity after the effort that went into map 2 and 3. So for this fight, you want to push this button and then do a semicircle into this armor and stand here. That will cause the Cyber Demon to infight with the Barons, and then once he dies, or the Barons die, you can then move out and finish off whatever's left alive before waking up the next Cyber Demon. And that's important because it gives you the space. Now I wake this guy up and I've got all the room in the world to deal with him. And I'm looking pretty good on health and armor here, and I really need that to stay as it is, because my strategy for one of the upcoming fights kind of relies on having good health and armor. The fight after this fight. For the moment, we've got chain gunners on the pillars, an incoming swarm of revenants, and some floaty red raspberry boys. So you want to use plasma, but you want to save as much as you can, at least 100, maybe 150. If you can. There is some more plasma on top of the pillars, which will lower once we push that switch. So I'm going to try and keep as much as possible, again, for this next fight. I don't really have a good strategy for this next fight, so my strategy is to go in with as much health and armor and plasma and just sort of brute force it. Which does work, but it isn't very eloquent. Eloquent? Elegant. And I definitely feel like I'm missing a trick. But it works, so we'll just go with it. So this next fight brings us to the room that we killed those Hell Knights in earlier, and we get the red key, we push this button, and the wall will slowly open and close, revealing archviles. And the room also, as you can see, is filling up with Hell Knights. If you stand just here, the archviles can't target you, and you can use the plasma that you've saved and the health and armor to tank your way through the Hell Knight onslaught. Once that's done, push that switch, hide. Push this switch, and hide. And then get out. And then the archviles start to get crushed. Like I say, it's not a great strategy, but it works. So we'll go with it. Anyway, now we come back over here, and we can kill this pinky boy, and we get the rocket launcher. And so when we press that switch, the pillars that we're sort of running in between at the moment will come down, and there'll be a big Revenant Hell Knight Cyber Demon party, which we will kick off in a second. And it's actually a two-phase fight, because the pillars come down to release the enemies, but then they go back up to release archviles later on. So yeah, they've come down at the moment. Here are the enemies. We're just going to do U-shaped movement to try and get the infighting going. Create some space behind them, and now we can... Nope, not yet. One more. Ooh, that was bad. And lucky. That could have been worse. And now we've got the circle. So now we can just circle straight around them. Maybe not. We'll run back this way. Yeah, do as I suggest, not as I actually do. That wasn't too pretty, but it kind of worked. And now we're going to get some health. I would like to have had more, but there's an archvile and we're going to get out. We're getting out. So we do want to try and kill the archviles before, but if we stand just sort of here, we can usually get them as they come around the corners. There we go, there's both of them. Ah, he did get me. Come on. There we go. And this is also not looking great. A lot of unnecessary damage. But I think, you know, this is why I kind of like the Hurt Me Plenty difficulty, because you can make mistakes, and that's not game over for you. Like, you can recover. Whereas I think on Ultraviolence, your ability to do that is severely diminished. So we'll just clean these guys up, and then we'll push the button up top, and that will start off a little chain gun fight, which isn't too dangerous. It isn't too dangerous if you do it in isolation. If you press this button before clearing out the guys down the bottom, you can see the pillars have come back up and they're red. So if you don't kill the guys downstairs first, they will come up on those lifts, and suddenly it will be quite a difficult fight up here. So it's best to try and avoid that. And then you've got these backwards facing revenants, which, yeah, they aren't really a threat. And back to full health. Through here, we've got a Mega Armor and a little Cyber Demon, so we can just finish him off. Not a big deal. We can get the armor, push the button, and then run around here, kill this chain gunner, and do this next bit. Now again, I want to be careful of cells, because I want to make sure I have 300 for an upcoming fight. But for now, push that button, run back in here, deal with the pain elementals, and then let the Cyber Demon infight the Barons. I mean, they're still coming in, so I can't get around them yet, but you can just do your U-shape, finish off the Lost Souls, and the Hell Knights and the Barons will win eventually. But this is a good sort of opportunity for you to just chill out. And I like to run in here first, because it just makes the whole fight easier to control. Whereas if you stay in the area where you push the button, things can get a little bit dicey. So yeah, I'm just going to help the process along a little bit. Keep an eye on him so that I don't get shot with a rocket. And it actually looks like the Cyber Demon is going to win. Only just though. I think it was only because I took off those Barons off of him. Normally I don't get involved. Now we can go and kill these last couple of enemies, which are deaf, and so they don't wake up. Nothing too difficult with this. It's just a case of I'd rather deal with them later on my own terms than have them be part of the fight. And then yeah, I've got to go push this switch. And now onto the next section, which is a big Archvile corridor. And look at that, that's pretty nice, isn't it? This whole level is kind of a square around a central pool of water, which is where the exit is. Again, I think the design is just brilliant. So we push this switch, we run back over here, and now we're just going to keep shooting rockets and just be conscious of multiple Archvile blasts. Generally the Archviles outpace everything else, so they will come up to you first. Or they get bogged down in the Revenant corpses, which means they aren't trying to zap you. But you've got plenty of rockets, you could just go nuts here and kill them all. The key thing is to finish this section with 300 cells, which I've done in spades. I've got 300, and there's extra here, and there's even a secret. Push that button and there's secret cells off here, which is an off-map secret. Now for a particularly tricky fight, we're going to jump down here and push this switch, and it's going to flood with Pinky Demons and Barons and Archviles if we go too far away from the edge. So we push the button And then I'm just going to keep my back to things and fire as many rockets as I can, switch to the BFG, and I'm very conscious of where the cell pickups are because I'm going to need every single shot. And I don't want to stray too far because I don't want the Archviles to wake up. And now we're looking okay, and I can probably finish the rest of these boys off with the shotgun and the rocket launcher. So the idea here is to sort of stay in the middle so that the Archviles don't wake up, because they can target you. Well, he woke up, but they can target you pretty much everywhere unless your back is right against that wall. So space is the real key for this fight. And actually, with 300 cells plus the cells you get down here, it's perfectly doable, as you've just seen, to kill all of the Hell Knights and Barons. Now we just need to push all the switches to get out. A potential speedrunning strategy would be to use the Archvile to actually blast you up and out. I'm not sure if he can actually get out of the arena, but I've certainly been blasted up to the Archvile shelf during practice runs, which made the fight very easy because nothing could get me. But making that consistent is probably a little bit beyond me. Anyway, now that that fight is done, we've basically finished our loop round. And we will go and get the Cyan Key from a little platform which you might have seen at the start of the level. Through this slip gate, which is quite cool. And then another one, and we are back at the start. Now we want to come back over here to where we were earlier. We can push this button, which is a cyan switch, to go into the final fight, which isn't actually this area. It's a carbon copy, but there's a silent teleporter when you press this switch. I'm now in a different location, and look at this. A pyramid of Barons and Cyberdemons. So, let's go. The idea is distract the Cyberdemons with infighting, and then shoot them in the butt with the BFG. And I want to do that before the wave of baby Cyberdemons turns up. Also, the pyramid is slowly lowering, and the waves of Hell Knights are teleporting in. So it's pretty frantic. You've kind of got to rely on the infighting, but you also do have quite a lot of space here. And there is a good amount of cells. So now I'm just waiting for the Cyberdemons, the second wave, to wake up. So I'm purposefully not using cells, only to really punch through. And here we go. So now I want to kill these Cyberdemons. Yes, you could use infighting, but it's just, I don't think it's worth the risk of taking face rockets. This is a little dicey, but we've got the cells to push through. I need to go and get a radiation suit. This didn't go as smoothly as in practice, but I'm pretty nervous at this point in the run, and I kind of just want to get through it. And now every Cyberdemon is dead, I can quite comfortably mop up the rest of the Hell Knights with the rocket launcher. The only thing to bear in mind is there are Archviles, which I will wake up a little bit later, and actually I probably don't have enough cells to deal with them, so I've maybe created a slight problem for myself by overspending on my cells. But like I said, at this point in the run, nerves are pretty high, decision making is not at its best. I'm very conscious this is actually my first attempt at it, and I just really don't want to screw things up. So we've got one shot for these Archviles. We push all 4 switches. There are more cells inside, but I've got to get through. Okay, we've got 160 cells. This doesn't look too bad, actually. So they're dead. Now I've got 2 more to finish off on the other side, but I can't really afford to get zapped. So how am I going to play this? This is bad. Don't do this. You kind of just want to charge out because... yeah, this isn't good. This isn't good. This is good. Okay. Phew. I think a more aggressive play is the correct play there, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that risk at this point. And that's the last enemy, so of course we got to punch him out. And there we go. All the kills, all the secrets. That is map 4. Some pretty tricky fights in this one. Overall, I still think map 3 is harder by quite a bit. But I really like this fight, especially that final fight. And that blue, if you had looked at the map, that blue fountain was actually the very center of the map that we sort of made that loop around earlier. But yeah, there's map 4, and see you in map 5.